Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint. Thank you very, very much for being here. This is going to be short and quick, I hope. Um, so January 6th, first of all, you're getting this video late in the day, on a Monday, because, this is the right time to do this video. So what's happened today on January 6th? Well, in Canada, we had the, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau let us know that he is resigning, and he will be leaving on March 24th. So, in theory, that should give the Liberals enough time to come up with a new leader for the party. So there's that. Meanwhile, south of the border, not only is there some really horrendous weather going on, it looks like on that southern seaboard, on the eastern seaboard. Washington's getting buried in the snow. Kentucky, I didn't even know people in Kentucky got snow. So you've got some horrible weather out there that you're dealing with. But more importantly, Vice President Kamala Harris has certified the Trump election win. So it's time for all of us to just take a big, big breath and realize that things are shifting and changing. The energy is shifting and changing. Things are not status quo, I think is the way I want to say it. Is shifting. And we knew that this new energy was coming in. We knew that in order for things to get rebuilt, they have to first get torn down. So I'm going to take a quick look at Trudeau, and then I'm going to follow that with a quick look at the United States and Trump. So let's find out what's going on with Prime Minister, for the moment, Pierre Trudeau. Tell me about Trudeau, tell me about Trudeau, tell me about Trudeau. Apparently he spent the winter break, the holiday seasonal break, talking to friends and family, and has made the decision that he made. So let's see what's going on there. It's interesting to me that twice in, I don't know, what is that, an 8 or 9 month period, we have had country leaders choosing to step down or back away for kind of the betterment of the country, almost regardless of their own personal political wishes. That in and of itself is remarkable. Because, as Joe Biden said, people don't give up power. They hold on to it, and they do whatever they have to do to hold on to it. And so it's indicative of the energy shifts that are going on that, in a short period of time, we have witnessed two such events. Okay. And basically both of them triggered by the same thing, which appears to be some sort of lack of confidence and a feeling overall that person would not be able to win the next election. So for Trudeau, what we're looking at here, he has the High Priestess and he has the Three of Wands. And so this is about literally him making that decision and that choice, that it was better to step away than, I want to use the word be humiliated, but continue to have his own party pulling away from him. There are other exciting and new things that will come forward for Trudeau as he moves forward. It feels a little bit like he's going to have a few things to pick and choose from, which again is not surprising considering that tends to be what happens when leaders of countries, move on and do the next chapter of their life. Interestingly, he has the pole and the devil following each other. So followed by the Ten of Swords. Okay, so what you've got here is a situation where He really feels like he was battered and badgered into making this decision, but he has made it. And the hope and the intention is that the country is going to be able to move forward, Wheel of Fortune, in a way that is helpful and positive and consistent with the current earth energies of shifting and changing. So that's kind of going on there. We've got the Wheel of Fortune here. So the big thing in Canada now is whether this Poilievre, who is the leader of the Conservative Party and looking very strongly like he's potentially going to win the next election, sort of how he presents himself, how he continues to do things. You know, it struck me as sort of funny. I was watching a little bit of news coverage, and one of the commentators said, you know, this is not the election that they wanted to have. They wanted to be able to run against Trudeau. And I was like, where the hell have I heard that one before? Oh, yeah. This was not the election Trump wants. He wanted to run against Biden. And so those kinds of energy shifts, as I said, are indicative of a bigger sort of shift and change. And honestly, it's a shift and a change that we cannot see right now. I wish my crystal ball over there. I wish my crystal ball would just lay out the future for me, but of course it can't do that and won't do that because so much has to do with the choices people make on an independent and individual basis. That's what free will is about. So let's take a look and see what is going on with Trump. You know, Harris certifying that election to me sends a signal that whether we like it or not, the results of the election are being considered valid. Now, I don't know if there's other countries who will have information and can come forward to share that information. It does, however, strike me that if they had the information prior to today would have been a really good time to, you know, blast that information out wide and far and publicly. So it has me concerned. I'm not saying, don't misunderstand, I'm not saying that there wasn't a whole lot of shenanigans going on. I'm saying that. I absolutely agree. But what I am saying is I'm wondering whether there was a judgment call made in terms of keeping the country stabilized, because I think that that's very much what happened in 2016. Yeah, 2016. They knew that Putin had interfered, but there was this sort of decision made that, you know, it was going to cause too much upset to, you know, really start pushing back against that win. And again, particularly because the first part of his term, you know, he had strong support around him. So, also, people need to start realizing that where your focus is right now is not the next 4 years, it is the next 2 years. Because if somehow Trump is still actually sitting in the Oval Office in 2 years, which I don't think he's going to be, but if he is going to get it's going to be a bloodbath come the midterms, because by then, people who voted for him blindly without recognizing what he was actually going to do are going to start feeling the impact of the things he said he was going to do that they weren't listening to. Which reminds me, I've gotten a couple of comments from people who want to apologize on behalf of the United States for one, Trudeau being an idiot, two, people voting for him, and three, Trump trying to insist that he should just take over Canada too. Listen, You don't need to apologize for him. You don't need to apologize for your country. You don't need to apologize for the people who voted for him. We all are on the same page, and we recognize a fool, a greedy fool, when we see one. Okay? Here we go. Tell me about Trump. Tell me about Trump. Tell me about Trump. Very interestingly, one of the messages I want to share with you before I go forward. The other day, just the other day, I think on the 3rd, I turned on my television to find out that, in fact, Mike Johnson had been reelected Speaker of the House for the Republican Party. And immediately was told that it unfolded the way it was anticipated to unfold. Prior to that vote, there was a lot of talk about chaos within the party, and people were fighting, and people were insisting if they didn't care if they were hung upside down by their toes, they weren't going to vote for him. Think about who is head of the party. It's Trump. Trump flourishes in chaos. He also really, really likes situations where he ends up coming across as a powerful, strong, forceful leader. A leader that people simply conform to. So, how much of what we saw was theatrics? Was there really that much dissension? Were things getting amplified bigger than they were? For whatever reason, I don't know, maybe for media vote, people watching. Maybe because it was a way of kissing the ring, bending the knee to Trump, saying, we're sending out a message that you managed to corral all of us. There was probably some significant concessions made by Mike Johnson from the people who were opposing him. We've seen that happen before with McCarthy, right? So I just want, again, you to be mindful of monitoring where your thoughts and your energy are going. And I hope I remember the next point before I forget it. But I'm not going to go there right now. Trump. 3 of Hearts. 8 of Cups. 8 of Swords. So what you have here is someone who is blind, someone who continues to, take what is in his, but more importantly, who almost is ready to leave now. Okay, and that may sound a little strange, but think about it from his perspective. All he really wanted to do was win the election, to prove that he could win the election. As far as any policies, those are coming from other people. Those are coming from, that person, that Musk guy, and those are coming from other countries. Because really, his policies, as we know, are formed by whoever spoke to him last. Now, granted, he's a racist as racist could be, and he wants immigration. He wants everybody who is, white and, Protestant kicked out of the country. But for him, it was about ego. And once he won the election, in some ways, it was almost like he was like, oh, okay, good, I can step back now. Because I got what I wanted. And what I wanted was to, get the message across that I was powerful and I was forceful. And of course, he hung on to that presidency, not only for the 4 years he was president, but for the 4 years after that, because he needed to keep that narrative going, and he did. He is going to 10 of Wands. He is going to face an uphill battle. It is not as if things are going to simply fall into place for him. And I know right now that seems a little strange, given what just happened with the election for the House Speaker. But he's going to face a lot more resistance than he thinks he's going to. Furthermore, as of right now, I definitely see Hakeem Jeffries stepping into the role of House Speaker. So, okay, we've got the Tower there and the Nine of Cups. So once there is an implosion in the Republican Party, and trust me, they will be. Always remember, the Republican Party is like a pile of snakes eating each other, all right? And sometimes their own tails. But ultimately, for as long as he is in office, if he takes the office, it's not going to be as traumatic and frightening and scary as people think. The people's wishes are going to be recognized. They're going to be pushed, if you will, in the face of Republicans. But it's important to remember that half of the voters voted for Trump. Yes, he didn't win by a very big margin. I think it was like 1.7%. But he won popularity vote, and that's concerning because mostly what it indicates is that people vote without actually knowing or understanding what he was going to do once he got into office, and that's a little terrifying. Having said that, I think as far as Trump goes, energetically, this is not somebody, he's not well, I'm sorry. He just doesn't look good. He doesn't energetically. He's not who he was 8 years ago. He's not who he was 4 years ago. He is like a shell of that person. Interestingly, I just spread out all the cards so that I could reinsert these ones. But the next card I would have pulled was the Death card. That was the next card sitting on the top of the deck. Okay. So I think in some ways the bigger concern is what happens if he should not be able to complete the presidency for whatever reason. According to your Constitution, that would be about Vance. Now, I am not trying to tell you that Trump going into office and being able to do all this insanity is a foregone conclusion. But what I am saying is it's important that we keep our perspective and we keep our thoughts focused where they need to be focused. Now, I'm sure a lot of you know the YouTube channel called Susan Lynn Psychic, I think. She direct channels a lot of information. She has a really good channel. Like, I enjoy watching her every once in a while. But the other day, a little short that she did popped up on my feed, and she was talking about how she goes down the alleyway where she lives and she picks up all the nails because she doesn't want to get a flat tire, nor does she want anybody else to get a flat tire. Except during the course of this picking up all these nails, she said her tires looked like a pincushion with all of the patches because she kept picking up nails, and I had to snicker. Her message was, don't try to take on somebody else's karma. Maybe somebody else was supposed to get that nail in their tire and you interfered. That's valid. But I have to tell you, the other thing that came to my mind was the thought of her focus was on the nails. And this is what we all need to remember. Energy is not positive or negative. Energy doesn't have an opinion about what is good or bad, right or wrong, light and dark. Energy is simply energy, and it goes where it is pulled. It goes to where there is the sort of the biggest amount of it. And so, well, I can't speak for her, and well, I wasn't there personally. I'm going to just say that it sort of felt to me like when I saw that little message that because the focus was on nails, that was literally what she attracted. And even though that was the absolute opposite of her intention, that's what happened. And I wanted to remember that because I thought it was just her sharing that was a really brilliant way of reminding people that it's about where your attention goes. And the more fearful or worried or anxious you are about where your attention is going, amplifies the problem. It draws it closer. So as we go into 2025, that should be something that I feel that we should all work at making stronger within ourselves, our ability to harness our thoughts that are not productive, and the ability to turn our thoughts into something that is productive and is accessible and ultimately is in the light. Okay, that's what I know. I'm very happy to be back. Thank you so much for all your good wishes over the holiday season. I did get some rest. Not enough, but we're just going to carry on. As of right now, my intention is to do 2 videos a week and then Pendulum Friday on Friday. So you can anticipate another video from me probably on Wednesday. And it may be that Monday, Wednesday becomes my new release date as opposed to, well, I was doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but listen, if you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell so that when I release something out of an established sequence, like I'm doing right now with this video, you get notified so you can catch it. All right. Thank you for being here. I will see you very, very soon. Until then, take care and be well. Bye for now.